Alright, so I want to show you my simulation tool, which just takes a bunch of meshes and simulates them, falling or rolling or whatever, and then we can bake them out to save the transforms and create instances from them. So inside this large box is where we will spawn all the meshes. So let's try now to spawn 382 of them and simulate this. Okay, so let's pause the simulation and go and have a look how it looks. Right, looks like they're still bouncing and rolling around, so let's play it a bit more. Yeah, now we're getting pretty close. Yeah, I think this is good enough. Cool, so let's bake the transforms and end the simulation. And now we can go in and edit the specific separate static meshes if we want to. Delete them or move them around to keep it all directable. And when we're happy, we can create instances from them. So this will spawn a blueprint which handles all the instances. So we only have to deal with one row column instead of 382 of them. And we can turn on the decals as well for some extra goodness. And I will show you the breakdown now as well. So first we create the shape spawner box. And this is the area where you will spawn things, so you can resize it and move it. And then we choose the number of meshes we want to spawn. And then click spawn meshes to spawn them, and then simulate to make them fall. And when you're happy with the simulation, you just press bake and end simulation. And then you're ready to create the instances. And this will spawn the instances which are in the baked mesh window. So you can spawn cubes or you can spawn nanite meshes. And to remove the static meshes which were used for simulation, you just press remove static meshes. And here we have spawned a high poly tree, which is also nanite. So it's pretty cool. And if you'd like to spawn meshes and save them out as a completely new mesh, you can make the simulation and then go to actor, merge actors, and then choose which of the merging of actors you'd like. In this case, we use the simple merge. And then we will save them out all as a new mesh, which is easier to work with. And if you want to fill a debris field, you can just place a couple of these around and you're done. So now taking a look at the actual widget. Here we have all of the buttons. These are just regular buttons with a text box connected to them. Here we have the spin box to choose the number of meshes. And here we have the object pickers, which are detailed views. And in the graph, we have the event pre-construct, just sets up the widget basically. And then our first button, the spawn shape. This basically just spawns a blueprint, which is the BP shape spawner, which we have here. And this is just spawning this fancy box, so it's nothing in the construction script or event graph. So it's just to get a visual representation of where we are going to spawn our simulation meshes. And then we have the spawn meshes button, which just spawns regular static mesh actors inside the box volume. And then we also set the mesh, the mobility, and making the physics able to simulate. And then we have the actual simulation itself. So the first time it will run, this button is pressed, we will make the interaction widget. So this will spawn another blueprint which handles the actual interaction. So this blueprint is also almost empty. We only have the widget interaction component inside of here. And the construction script and event graph are empty. So this makes it possible to simulate or fake a key press of any button on the keyboard or on the mouse or anything. And when you're running simulations, you press the K key to save a simulation. So this one fakes a keyboard pressing for us. And as well, if we want to pause the simulation, we can fake the pause button press. So this will create the interaction widget and basically run the simulation in editor. And when it's running, you can pause it as well. And when you're happy with your simulation, we press the bake and end simulation button, and this will run the function press K key inside our BP spawner widget interaction. So it runs that function and then destroys the widget interaction. And then for the instancing part, here we spawn another blueprint. This one is called BP in ESM spawner, static mesh spawner. And this one is also empty, so nothing in the viewport, nothing in the event graph or the construction script. It just contains an instant static mesh component. And then we do all of the adding of the mesh, each instances inside this, inside the widget. And to remove the simulated meshes once you are happy with the simulation and have already baked them, you just destroy the actors. So that's pretty much it. So if you want to find out some more stuff that I'm doing, you can find me on ArtStation and on Instagram as well. Thank you for watching. Bye.